don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express.
Celebrate our newest launch, Rev 7. I'm bringing you an amazing introductory offer, plus an exclusive overstock sale that you're not going to want to miss. Rev 7 is our premium energy drink that tastes great and gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. That's because there's no sugar and no caffeine. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7 that for a limited time you can try our 3-pack absolutely free. Or check out our Percale bed sheets. I can't believe I'm even going to say this. Every color, every style, every size, only $29.88. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12-packs or try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. And our Percale bed sheets, all sizes, only $29.88, even the queens and kings. Inventory is extremely limited, so order now.
How about now? Oh my gosh, what is with the last couple days? So, just in case you didn't hear, head over to mypillow.com, guys. There is free shipping right now, and there is a lot of great products. Want to say thank you for you all being here. Show number 2. And that's irritating with the sound. That is 3 shows in a row. 3 shows, 1, 2, 3, 3 shows in a row. 1 show we didn't even get to do. But we're all fixed and ready to go now. I was wondering why there was no lines over here, but it just didn't click. But thank you all for tuning in. Let me run into the comments. We got probably a pretty long, I wouldn't say a long show, but we got a jam-packed show. We got Trina, Micro Taz, Nola, Susan, Deb V, Jan Garner. Hello. Prayers for Jan Garner to heal up completely. Jeanne, we got L. Ralphie, Carol Burton. Let's see. Trina. We said Trina, I think. Becky Boo. Old Uncle Bill, what's up? And let's go down here. We got Sansia, Saint Fan, Justice Jane, Carol. Thank you all for being here. Let's get down here. Thank you all for being in here. Hope you're all doing well. And appreciate you all. Karen's in the house, says, I can hear you now. I can hear clearly now. Oh, no, I'm not a singer. So we're going to get into it, guys. In the last show, we talked about Chevy's. Some people said you cried in the comments over Chevy's commercial. Very family oriented, talking about having that Chevy all the way up, raising your kids, doing family things, Western culture things. And we mentioned Jaguar. And Jaguar's ad that they came out with was at the beginning of this year. And lo and behold, I'm prepping for the show and I hear breaking. Jerry McGovern, the architect of Jaguar's 2024 woke ad and rebrand that caused a 97.5% sales collapse, has been fired and escorted from the building while the company scrambles to erase all traces of his disastrous campaign. This guy, let's see. Man, that was interesting for sure. Remember this? It looked demonic. We played that ad the day it came out. And I was like, whoa, but let me see something. I want to see, because a sales drop of 97.5%. I remember when Jaguars, at least the 90s, they were pretty decent, I thought, and then they became more of a sedan style car, and I just didn't like them. There was actually one I rode in probably like 8 years ago. We went up to corporate for the last company I was working with, and the head of our department up at corporate drove one of the newer Jaguars, and I'll tell you what, man, he showed off in that thing, and it was quick, and it was a nice car, just not a Jaguar fan. Let me ask Rock really quick. How is sales for Jaguar Car Company going? Have been exceptionally challenging, marked by a deliberate strategic pause in production and new vehicle availability as the brand transitions to an all-electric lineup under its reimagined strategy. And we're going to talk about an all-electric lineup when we talk about Trump today, reversing the Green New Scam policies of Biden. He had Ford, some other vehicle manufacturers in there, going to save American consumers billions. We'll get into that. Let's see. April 2025, 49 units sold. Year over year change from 97. They did lose 97.5%. Last April, they sold 1,961 units in Europe. This April, they sold 49. That's crazy. If you happen, let me see if I can pull the other one up just in case. If you happen to miss the last ad, I'm going to pull Chevy's ad. Chevy Christmas ad. This is Matt, grab your tissues. Matt.
Found it.
Are we feeding an arm?
Found it.
Are we feeding an army?
Pies are in the fridge. Hun, did you get the casseroles?
Yeah, back seat.
Let's go. Come on, careful.
Where's the dog?
Kind of got my hands full here.
Willie! Don't keep all the good stuff to yourself.
I was just thinking about the first time that we did this drive.
The great diaper explosion of 1992. Uh-oh, the Christmas tree farm.
Don't even.
Is the one you want?
Climb the tree to see the world.
You got it?
Got it.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
You actually said, I will.
Turn this car around right now.
I was going to.
Yeah.
Dad, we gotta go. Please, Dad, just stop by you, please.
The last time we did this together, you remember?
I don't want to go back to college. It's okay. It's going to be okay.
He doesn't even like me.
That guy's not even cool enough for you anyway.
By the cracks of his skin, I climb to the top. I climb the tree to see the world.
They never made it easy, did they?
Well, did you want it to be easy?
No. I wanted it to be just like it was.
Oh.
Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad.
Hello. Oh, no. You guys just get in?
Yeah. Who's this little guy? This is Waylon. You look like an old friend of mine.
Come on in. It's freezing out here.
Yeah.
Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy.
We climb to the sea. I climb the tree to see the world.
Man. So you could see a big difference between Jaguar and, of course, Chevy. And Chevy did go to that wokeness for a while. I think they still have a lot of woke policies. If I'm not mistaken, the local dealership here, Hedrick's, donates to the same group that got me attacked by putting me out there and putting all kind of lies about me. Speaking of crazies, a trans-identified male who strangled his own mother before raping her corpse was moved into a women's prison in Illinois after complaining of feeling unsafe in a men's prison. I'm going to say that again. Strangled his mother and then raped the corpse. There's some people that cannot be rehabilitated, and we just need to send them to the maker. And it says John Finnegan is currently housed in a facility with a mother-baby unit. Like, we cover a lot of crimes here. That is beyond disgusting. That is like, the hell is wrong with people? I want to go back to like my childhood days, the 80s, where the public took care of things like this. That was just insane, but I thought you would know that. Now, earlier today, we also talked about President Trump's pardon of a Texas Democrat, more of a blue dog, willing to work across the aisles type of Democrat. And he was only persecuted from the Biden administration when he started complaining about Biden's open border policies and what was going on in the border. If you guys remember when we were down there, we were talking, look, even a Democrat's talking about this. Well, President Trump pardoned him. We read the letter from the family asking for the pardon. President Trump did pardon him. And then this video was from today. I wanted to watch this of the pardoned.
What were your conversations like with the White House? I just saw it right now. Huh?
Did you?
I just saw it right now. I didn't know that this was coming. You didn't talk to the president of the White House? I'm going to go to the White House Christmas party next week, and I'm going to thank the president.
He didn't even know this was coming, folks.
And to be clear, you filed for re-election as
As I said, Nothing has changed. Does that mean that you're running as a Democrat? Can you just be clear? Are you running as a Democrat?
They're saying that he filed to run, I think, while he was in jail even.
As I said, nothing has changed. I am a conservative Democrat.
Nothing has changed. I'm a conservative Democrat. Kind of an oxymoron, but hell.
And I am very bipartisan. And I work with my Republican friends when I need to work with my Republican friends. But was there any deal cut with the White House? Was there any deal cut with the White House? No. There was no deal cut with the White House? No.
No deal cut with the White House. And then there was actually something interesting. People are getting upset at Hakeem Jeffries. It says, this was posted earlier, says House Democrat leader Hakeem Jeffries tells CNN that the charges against Congressman Henry Queller and his wife were very thin, and that the President Trump's pardon of the couple was the right outcome. And you have those crazy leftists online now saying this isn't leadership. It's just not. He's got to go. He cannot be in House leadership. Talking about Hakeem Jeffries. Dollar store Obama is not worthy. He is not worthy. I thought that was interesting. Let me take some of these down really quick while we're here. We talked about Charlotte, North Carolina, or we talked about North Carolina passing, what was it, Erna's Law? Erna's Law, because they were constantly letting people out of jail, these repeat criminals. And here's a good one for you. It just passed or went into effect, what was it, earlier this week?
This summer,
Take
which
a
sparked
listen.
national attention. The statewide anti-crime bill dubbed Arena's
a bond amount that could be the new norm in North Carolina. This morning, a Charlotte teen accused in a series of shootings into homes is now in jail on a $5.3 million bond. Officers first arrested Daquan Mills last month for a shooting on Redwood Drive. He was also charged for a second shooting while in custody.
Investigators say that's on top of 2 other prior arrests that Mills had for other charges. He's currently accused of crimes ranging from damage to property to shooting into an occupied dwelling. Now experts say that this could be in part due to the fatal stabbing of Irina Zarutska on the light rail this summer, which sparked national attention. The statewide anti-crime bill dubbed Arena's Law went into effect on Monday.
Our chief legal analyst, Conley Rhodes, is joining us here. So when you see $5.3 million in terms of bond, that's a shocking number to some people. Where is bond normally set for something like this, and how may the law impact this?
Well, the best part about our statute in North Carolina is there is no normal part of what bonds should be set at. When I first took over at the Chief Magistrate in Mecklenburg County, on the wall for each individual charge, there was an itemized amount. Right. Assault on a female, $25,000. Some type of robbery charge, $100,000. It didn't take into account, your history. It didn't take into account the actual weight of the evidence, the nature of the charge. It just said this charge, this amount. Don't do any thinking, hit the button and go. Well, the problem with that is our statute requires just a little bit more than that. It requires an actual assessment of a person's prior history, an assessment of their ability to come to court, their ability to commit a crime, specifically a new violent crime. And when you're making that determination, even at the magistrate level, you have to make it on an individual assessment. And so there is no normal range. But what I can tell you is this is outside of any typical range, any type of range that I've seen in the past. These are type of numbers that you normally would see with homicide cases, not with shooting in an occupied dwelling. But I mean, I'd have to see this entire package to know why. I recognize that CMPD put out a number of times this person is a repeat offender, that he's been out and was charged with multiple offenses. So I'd have to know, was he out on pretrial at the time of the offense? That's something that will go into consideration for me to say what type of conditions I'm going to set. I'd want to know, how long in between those times. I want to know, has he ever missed court? Has he appeared? Have those other cases been dismissed? There are going to be a number of things that I'm thinking about before I make a determination. But 5.3, yes, it's an eye-popping type of number, more for a dramatic effect. And at the end of the day, if you don't have $20,000, you ain't got 5.3 million, you're not getting out regardless. So the number is really something that's to set aside.
Well, could this number be sending a message, Khalif? I mean, CMPD has said these repeat young offenders are endangering the community. So does this lead to tougher charges, programs in the future to stop young repeat offenders?
Well, I mean, if they were looking at the news and looking at the reports, then yes. I mean, if we have a deterrent system within our criminal justice system, it's both supposed to be both rehabilitative and deterrent. But it requires that people are participating in the system and aware of the things that are happening. And so, yes, you and I, because we're on the news, and people that are watching, guess what? They see that. People that look online, they see it. But for most folks, an 18-year-old isn't going to know that, hey, this kid just got a $5.3 million. So I'm not going to do that crime. The deterrent is not there, and you shouldn't be swayed as a judicial official by the tide of the day. You should have a determination to look at the person that's in front of you on a case-by-case basis. And so while I understand and appreciate that it's a heightened response to anything that's happening now based on what happened on the train, the horrific events that happened here in Charlotte that got national attention, make no mistake about it, I think this is an overreach in terms of what typically could happen. Back to Julian's original question, something like this you may see if he had 15 or 14 charges. Okay, $100,000 each charge. Something like that would be typical.
Well, they were doing it
sending
before,
a message,
and
but
they were
since
letting
this
these
occurred,
people out. I think that's epic. I hope that does send a message. We're complaining about this in multiple states. California's horrible like that. Then we got rogue judges. Is it Indiana or what state is it now? It might be Indiana that they're trying to pass a bill to hold judges accountable for when they release violent criminals and they go out and repeat, and everybody knew they were going to repeat, but you're just being generous. You will now be held accountable for that, and I hope they do that. Mater TJ texted me earlier and told me about this crash here in California, inviting, and it was an F-16C Fighting Falcon with the U.S. Air Force's Air Demonstration Squadron. That's also known as the Thunderbirds. To the south of Trona Airport near Death Valley, California. The pilot successfully ejected and is said to have suffered minor injuries and being transported to the hospital. I'll show you some still images and I'll show you a little video. You have this right here. You can see the pilot up in the middle left of your screen right there on that picture. And then from a distance, I couldn't find any. Obviously, they're going to do an investigation. Let me pull this next one up. Here's the pilot that had ejected. Let me see if I can put it up over here. Maybe that'll work. Put that a little bigger for you on the screen. Oh, shit! So let's try that again. Oh, shit! So luckily, the pilot did survive minor injuries, getting checked out at the hospital. So prayers for that pilot. Hopefully a quick recovery. Now, always going to put your plight. We got to talk about your favorite governor. I got two questions about this video right here. But again, Gavin Newsom's not in the state of California. He's out on his Bash Trump Gavin 2028 campaign tour. Take a look at this.
Police that seem to have taken an oath in office to him, not the Constitution of the United States. He sent Greg Bovino and his secret police that seem to have taken an oath in office to him, not the Constitution of the United States, to our campaign kickoff at the Democracy Center to chill participation in our rally. And he federalized 4,000 National Guard and sent 700 active duty Marines, not overseas, but
first of all, I'm thankful I voted for Trump to do that. But who sits like that other than RW? I want to know. Have you ever seen a guy sit, well, kind of like either one of them? But maybe there's more to the story here. Now, I'm not suggesting maybe, I don't know. But that's just insane. Listen to him.
In office to him, not the Constitution of the United States, to our campaign kickoff at the Democracy Center to chill participation in our rally. And he federalized 1,000 National Guard and send 700 active duty Marines, not overseas, but to the second largest city in America. And they're still, our federalized guard, still there.
It's not against the law. It all went through court. But Gavin Newsom wants you to think that he's doing something wrong.
Wake up to what is going on in this country.
So we will wake up what's going on in this country. And we're going to talk about it a little bit. Once again, this is a man right here who cheated on his own wife with his best friend's wife. So if you want to know who you're getting your information from, let's go there. Secondly, this man has never seen a tax he doesn't love. He also is going to talk about affordability. And we got something on his affordability talk, but he put this up. This is so funny how they play this game. At the top right here, it says Donald Trump is handing his big oil campaign donors even more opportunities to screw over Americans at the pump and poison our air. Strong fuel economy standards save California money and protect our health, and we'll fight tooth and nail to defend them. Now, he's talking about something we're going to get into, probably the biggest part of the show today, that Gavin Newsom, or that President Trump has rolled back. He already rolled back Gavin Newsom's. Remember, we had an electric vehicle mandate here in California that was going to take effect. That is gone, thanks to Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump has rolled back all of Biden's mandates, and we're going to get into that. But what's funny is, check this out. Kevin Dalton put this up there. How is this saving us money? This is average gas prices, dollar per gallon of regular grade gas. The average is $3.07. Now, it's actually went down a little since this. We do have some, like right there, it says Rhode Island $2.92, New Jersey $2.90, Florida's $3.12. That's actually dropped a little since this. But if you go look at California, $4.46 a gallon. The only place that beats us is Hawaii at $4.57 a gallon. Think about that. And for what? Who does that hurt the most? I can promise you, low-income single mothers, they don't have the most fuel-efficient cars in the world. They're dealing with what they got, right? They bought a used Camry, Corolla. They get decent gas mileage. But who does that hurt the most? Do you think that $4.46 a gallon hurts the wineries? Gavin Newsom's buddies? No. It hurts middle class and lower income people. I'm just going to say this. I pay attention. You guys know we drive a lot. And I spend we have one vehicle right here. That's the family vehicle for not doing any work. Just for taking Caden to school, which is literally less than a mile away. Rachel goes to the gym. I go to the gym and we run our errands and we do stuff. I could save $40 a week if I moved to any state other than California. They might not think that's not a lot. $160 a month is a lot. If you can shop wisely, you're going to feed your family for a week. And Gavin Newsom is upset because guess what? All these crazy, just like the Inflation Reduction Act that spiked inflation over 10%. This guy's a bonehead. How about this? Let's talk about California. I mean, this post, it says crime has gotten so bad in Gavin Newsom's California that thieves in Los Angeles are now breaking into wealthy neighborhoods and stripping entire luxury cars, even taking the doors. Take a look at this video. I mean, this is Gavin Newsom's California. Look at this.
This is a nice car.
So they're getting better.
My girlfriend has this car.
They're getting better at stripping cars. I've never seen a car stripped down on the side of the street like this. I mean, dude, you need special. I feel like you need special tools for this. How do you have enough time? They even took the doors. It's Genesis, yeah.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh. But at some point, you go so mentally insane over Democrat policies, they become funny. They become funny. I mean, I felt bad for that owner. I've had a car stolen. I've had a motorcycle stolen. It's Democrat policies, folks. I'm going to get caught and I want to be out in a day. Hell, I'm going to see my homie Ethan in there. My dog Ethan. He got locked up last week. Say what's up. And that's it. And next week I'll be back out on the streets doing it again. Speaking of California, we want to go against federal. I mean, there's literally a civil war between the state of California and our federal government. They've tried to do all these mask bans, and this, like, I think it was the other day, Oakland or LA City Council said, "Oh, ICE can't wear masks." And you're not going to tell ICE what the F to do. I'll tell you that right now. Like, I am ready. Like days like today, when I see all these lies and all this hypocrisy going on with the Democrat Party. Coach, when I say coach, I mean Trump. Put us in, coach. Let us go out there. ICE is having problems with radicals that need to be deported. Can you say preemptive pardon, Trump? Let's go. Check this out. Attorney General Rob Bonta, the same one that funneled $500,000 of campaign funds to an investigation that he wasn't being investigated for because they had incriminating video of him. Don't know what that is, but there's rumors it could involve children and everything else. Where's all the Democrats? They cried Epstein, 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 and now they're quiet. He put up this tweet today. My office created a portal that will allow Californians to report misconduct by federal agents. If you believe a federal agent is abusing their power, acting unlawfully, you can report it to my office. Federal agents have a broad authority to enforce federal laws, but they must do so lawfully. That's stupid. Once again, very similar to the seditious six, acting like Trump's giving unlawful orders. Well, can you name one? Well, not right now, but just in case he does. No, you were trying to put out there somehow to the stupid listeners and the retards that watch CNN and MSNBC that somehow something's going wrong. Nothing's going wrong at all. You're just upset that the law and the Constitution and ICE, which is Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Border Patrol, doing their jobs finally. And I just thought this was interesting. Somebody else, I think it was Kevin Dalton again, retweeted this with this video attached. How many times, trust your Department of Justice, trust your Attorney General. Take a look at this. How many remember this? It says Rob Bonta just launched a portal that will allow Californians to report misconduct by federal agents. Is there a portal to report attorney generals that docks every person with a concealed carry permit in California? Because that's what Rob Bonta did. He doxed every person with a CCW in this state. Remember this?
Well, this goes way beyond. State of California under fire after posting a of every person with a permit to carry a concealed gun, including their names, addresses, and phone numbers. The list included celebrities, judges, even victims of domestic violence.
CBS 13's Laura Hafley is live outside the Department of Justice with the concerns many gun owners are raising now. Laura.
Well, this goes way beyond a simple filing error. The AG's office releasing a list of names, birthdays, gender, race, and home addresses of every single person in the state of California with a concealed carry weapons permit. This all happened last night after the AG released a website in the effort to be more transparent when it comes to gun safety. The website had in it firearm safety information, record sales, and a link to a portal of concealed carry permit holders. Except when you clicked on that portal, thousands of columns came up with all of that personal information included that I just mentioned. Now, that website has since been taken down, but too late. Victims already saw it. One who spoke to us about the danger this has put his family in.
Even most of my family members do not know that I have a concealed weapons permit. I have a good reason to get it. I got it because my spouse was being stalked.
I think that's much worse than ICE going up and asking if you're a citizen or detaining you if you can't provide status of citizenship and arresting you if you're an illegal. We have immigration laws, we're going to follow them. Just crazy. And then United States Attorney Bill Asiley here in California that Trump appointed posted this. I thought this was interesting, saying we have a portal too. People can report California state officials engaged in illegal activity at the following link: tips@fbi.gov. Oh, man. How about another one in California? There was a couple videos I watched. I just pulled this up at the last minute. Thought it was a crazy story. There was an officer that worked for Sacramento PD. I watched the video, the camera view of that earlier. This isn't it. But he was at Sacramento PD, and he broke into an evidence locker and started doing some drugs. He's saying he thought it was meth. It was actually fentanyl. And another officer walked into the bathroom at the police station and saved his life with Narcan. He then goes and gets a job at the sheriff's office. And now his name was Marvin Morales, 40 years old, fatally stabbed his 11-year-old son in their Elk Grove home. Then led police on a 100-mile per hour chase before being shot and killed on the Interstate 5 near Lodi. Check how
officers with the Sacramento County.
How does this happen? That, like, if you hire me to be a police officer, I obviously got to have some morals, some values, uphold the law. And if I make that mistake, and I don't consider it a mistake, but you're in there doing drugs, you're stealing from an evidence locker, you're doing the drugs that you stole, and you could still get another job. Take a listen to this. This is crazy. Crazy California.
Tragedy in an Elk Grove neighborhood after an 11-year-old boy died after investigators say his father stabbed him. Police received a call around 8 Tuesday morning from the mother who was deeply worried about her son and 6-year-old daughter.
She's watching via camera, advising the son, 11 years old, assaulted by the husband.
The incident happened at a home on the 7600 block of Farrell Way. When officers arrived, they found the boy, who was transported to the hospital where he later died from his wounds. The 6-year-old girl was not injured.
It's unfortunate, first of all, for that 11-year-old and their family. That's our primary thoughts right now.
Officers didn't find the suspect at the scene, but he was spotted nearby along I-5 in the Pocket area. What followed was a pursuit down Interstate 5, reaching speeds upwards of 115 miles per hour.
His back left tire got a good spike on it. We're coming up to Highway 12 right now.
The suspect shortly thereafter was involved in a solo vehicle collision, which came to rest behind us here that you've seen earlier, and subsequently an officer-involved shooting occurred.
The suspect and husband, 40-year-old Marvin Morales, was a former Sacramento Sheriff's deputy, died in the shooting. Officers with the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office and Elk Grove Police Department were both involved. No one from law enforcement was injured. ABC 10 covered Morales earlier this year after he was fired after suffering a fentanyl overdose in a sheriff's office restroom in South Sacramento. An investigation also revealed he was at one point using narcotics he had confiscated from a citizen. On Tuesday, the sheriff's office had this to say about the latest incident.
it's gross, right? It's nobody wants to hear about anyone involved in an incident, previous like that, especially a deputy, and then to have something like this stem from it.
So maybe he wasn't rehired. He was a former. I read I think the other video was misleading. But holy cow, who goes and kills their child? Hedo says, please take the pic off of the left of the. No, it's part of the video. It's part of what we show. We do not censor here. Just letting you know. It's what we do. We don't stop the show. Turn off the monitor if you don't like it, but we can't constantly be the Democrats. Accountability check. How about this? A lien notice says Democratic Rep. Jasmine Crockett has failed and refused to pay over $3,000 in condo fees, while campaign filing shows nearly $75,000 was spent on luxury hotels and travel. Remember when we went through this the beginning of last week? All her limo services, her Ritz-Carltons, and everything else. It's crazy that a lien notice has failed and refused to pay over $3,000 in condo fees, while campaigning filings show nearly $75,000 was spent on luxury. She's also the same one that says she doesn't get paid enough. She gets paid what, $100 and something thousand a year. The average income in Texas is like $53,000. She makes almost 3 times that much. She hasn't done one bill in Congress while she's been elected. She hasn't done nothing but be out there and bob her head and show how ghetto she is. So the new talking point. Today, they all got their memo. As you guys know, Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins, who oversees the SNAP benefit program, which is food stamps, months ago, asked every state, because they're trying to get rid of waste, abuse, and fraud, to give them who they're distributing the federal funds, not state funds, who they're distributing them to, because they're saying there's a lot of illegal aliens on them. And illegal aliens should not get federal tax dollars, right? Well, guess what? 29 states did. And they found fraud. Those 29 states, predominantly red states, that want to get rid of fraud, that didn't purposely give illegal aliens food stamps. There was fraud involved. Some people were getting paid twice. So now Brooke Rollinson came out and said, she said it yesterday, we covered it. Next week we will start withholding federal funds if they do not turn over the information. We want to audit that. Now you have all the Democrats who said, first they said illegals are not getting health care. Oh, then we proved them wrong on that, right? It's almost like illegal aliens don't commit any crimes. Or illegal aliens are only here to pick vegetables. We've heard it all. Well, now you have this. Listen to, unfortunately, my senator here, a worthless sack of shit, Alex Padilla. Withholding essential nutrition assistance from states that didn't vote for you, including California, is extortion, plain and simple. Trump doesn't care if your family can put food on the table. He only cares about loyalty and submission. I'm in California. I voted for Trump. About 4 million of us did. More than, 80% of other states, because we've got such a big population. So that's why they're keeping. Oh, no, the reason why they're doing it is because Gavin Newsom and Senator Alex Padilla want to hide the fact that your hard-earned tax dollars are going to illegal aliens. That's why. That is why. And, but you like how he spins that? For states that didn't vote for you. I want them to withhold it from California. You know why? I want it to go to the people that need it. I want it to go to American citizens. That's why. That was just Alex Padilla. How about this one? Senator Andy Kim is on the talking point too. Trump's crusade to snatch food away from families in need continues. Why doesn't this administration stop litigating hunger and actually focus on helping people? These are people's lives, not some silly partisan game. And it says, this is a Washington Post. The Trump administration plans to block Democratic-controlled states from accessing billions of dollars they need to run their food stamp program unless governors turn over benefit rolls to federal officials. So it has nothing to do. The funny thing is they asked all 50 states. And those that are conservative controlled, Republican controlled states said, here's the list. Help us weed out the fraud. And Democrat controlled states, Illinois, California, New York, the ones that are harboring most of the illegal aliens, they said, nah, we're not going to do it. So they said, well, listen, we need that. We're auditing. We got elected to save the American people some money. If you don't do it, we're cutting it off. And again, Democrats playing the game. We're a victim. The poor, the people that can't eat. What about all the illegal aliens? Which they say they literally sued so Trump couldn't get this information. Why would you go that far? The government has all your information. They're not stupid. How about this one? Rosa DeLauro, the purple-haired crazy, said, food is a basic human right, not a political weapon. Trump's refusal to distribute SNAP administration funding to Democrat-led states will put families in jeopardy. President Trump should be dealing with an affordability crisis instead of making it worse for millions of Americans. Once again. They've requested something from the states. 29 states did as they asked. Then you have 21 states trying to cover up what they don't want out to the public because they know how it'll look bad. So now they're playing the propaganda game. It's just amazing. How about Rep Nadler? He's in on the talking points. There's a reason no administration, Republican or Democrat, has ever tried to force states to hand over full SNAP rolls. SNAP is state-run, and state confidentiality laws keep the home addresses of domestic violence survivors and other vulnerable families out of federal databases for their safety. Those protections matter, and we can combat fraud without eroding them. There's nearly 3 million New Yorkers who depend on SNAP shouldn't be put at risk or turned into collateral damage in Trump's political retribution game. We just played a video of Attorney General Rob Bonta showing every person, even victims of domestic violence, that ended up getting a concealed carry weapons permit put out on a log, but I don't think Rep Nadler ever spoke on that. The truth is, I like how he spun it. The confidentiality laws. Well, then we should keep the money we send people confidential. Let's not send New York any money. Bottom line. You have, it's just absolutely crazy. And they're getting upset because you have people saying, listen, SNAP benefits are not for you to live off of. They're not for you to have the same enjoyments and pleasures as your neighbor who works 60 hours a week. It's not what they were intended for. If John next door wants to go out and get Taco Bell, let's go out and get a steak, he can do it. He's putting in the hours and he's working. If he wants to go get 2 cases of sodas, a couple gallons of ice cream, and all this other junk, my tax dollars aren't going for it. Have fun, John. But if you are receiving assistance, supplemental nutrition assistance program, SNAP. If it's not nutritional, if it doesn't have a value, you shouldn't be able to get it. And listen to Joni Ernst right here. This is another thing that's triggering them.
Stuart, I have an act. It's called the Mixcuse Me Act, which would disallow those SNAP benefits being used at fast food restaurants. Again, we want to make sure that those hungry families, those food insecure families actually are receiving benefits, but we want them to really use those dollars on nutrient-rich foods.
Got it.
And you're not going to find those at fast food restaurants.
That is true. I can't wait till we get through this. Like, man, it's going to be, I'm telling you, we're almost to the end of this year, and it's been crazy so far, but I think next year is going to be even crazier. Now, remember, what was it? A little over a week ago, we haven't heard much about Epstein. Trump signed the bill. Some stuff came out that tied like Hakeem Jeffries to fundraising and trying to get money from a convicted sex abuser. And then, oh, well, let's not talk about that. Or the other rep that was texting during the Get Trump hearing. All right. And then all of a sudden, silence. And now the oversight Dems are like, we're working for you. Look at what they put out and how embarrassing this is. You want to talk about an embarrassment? These are all photos we showed you back in April or May, but it says breaking. Oversight Dems have received never before seen photos and videos of Jeffrey Epstein's private island that are a harrowing look behind Epstein's closed door. See for yourself. We won't stop fighting until we end this cover up and deliver justice for survivors. Check that out. Man, never before seen. I've seen all those. But let me show you something. They're so transparent. On the phone picture, the Democrats blocked out some names. Whose office is that? Whose cell phone is that? Whose cell phone is that? Well, if you want real transparency, we can go to when it was released. 5 months ago. 6 months ago. O'Keefe Media Group said, these are not never before seen. Okay, O'Keefe Media Group released these images in May. Oversight Dems claim they're fighting to end the cover-up, but redacted names on Epstein's phone in the very same post. OMG, on the other hand, here it is.
Here you have NY office. That's Jeff Epstein's New York City office. This is Karina Shuliak, Epstein's last girlfriend. Darren Off, that's Darren Indike, an Epstein advisor and lawyer. You have Rich Office, that's Richard D. Kahn, Epstein's advisor and lawyer. And Patrick Sell, that's Patrick McMullen, an Epstein associate. And STC Office, that's the Special Tax Office of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Here you have NY office. That's Jeff Epstein's New York City office. This is Karina.
So Democrats got caught in a big lie because they had nothing. They want to keep Epstein up here like they're fighting for you, the American people. We're doing all this. And they publish things that James O'Keefe did back in May. We're in November, folks. And I think there's another one here. James O'Keefe also posted this. The oversight Dems are now redacting Epstein photos that O'Keefe released in May. And he shows the phone book of all the stuff they're doing in. How can they claim to be fighting the cover-up when they redacted photos we've already released? Look at all that. They even redacted stuff on the chalkboard when James O'Keefe already released that. How embarrassing. He did request a redaction from the Democrats, from the oversight Dems. Let's see what he said. Let's see. The oversight Dems are now redacting. Let's see. Even the BBC came out saying these are never before seen stuff. Just embarrassing. It says our director of communications have reached out to Rep. Robert Garcia requesting an immediate retraction to Oversight Dems statement. Oversight Dems have received never before seen footage. All this stuff was released, and it's nothing. It's nothing. It's just to keep the fire going. That's all it is. Now we get into the good stuff. I know all you guys love the green new scam, the things that raise your price of cars, the things that raise your price of electricity. Well, we got some videos today from Trump in the Oval Office meeting with some of those top automotive officials here in the United States, and I want to play this for you.
Some horrible, actually, CAFE standards that imposed expensive restrictions and all sorts of problems, gave all sorts of problems to automakers. And we're not only talking about here, we're talking about outside of our country, because nobody could do it. Nobody wanted to do it, and it was ridiculous, very expensive. It put tremendous upward pressure on car prices, combined with the insane electric vehicle mandate. Biden's burdensome regulations helped cause the price of cars to soar more than 25%. And in one case, they went up 18% in 1 year. Today, we're taking one more step to kill the Green New scam. It's part of the greatest scam, probably, well, other than Russia, and a few others I could name. The greatest scam in American history, the Green New scam. And it's a quest to end the gasoline-powered car. This is what they wanted to do, even though we have more gasoline than any other country by far. And people want the gasoline car. They want everything. They want electric. They want any. They want.
The crosses do not sell. They can email me, but they're most likely not going to be sold unless they're local. They cost a whole lot to ship. This one would not be shipped. This is a big cross. Even the little crosses, they go up to $80 to sell. We only do them raffle unless you're in Fresno and can be delivered to. It's just a nightmare and to ship these things out. So the person that makes these is in our chat a lot of times. They do not ship outside of the area. It's just impossible to do with freight and everything. I think the last time I shipped a small cross, it was $83. Sometimes it's less. It depends if it goes with more stuff or not. But if you're here local, you can get one. Other than that, it's just through raffles. We haven't had any for quite a while. I don't know if we'll get any more again. So that unfortunately, that's it. You might be able to find one in your local area. It won't be as good as Miguelitos. Miguelitos is just high quality. But no, check out. We might have a raffle before Christmas. Jump in the raffle. But other than that, yeah, to ship one like that size, I'm guessing it would be well over 120, 140 bucks just to do that. It's just not friendly shipping stuff. We'll blame Biden on that. But let me put this back on here.
Burdensome regulations help cause the price of cars to soar more than 25%. And in one case, they went up 18% in 1 year. Today, we're taking one more step to kill the Green New scam. It's part of the greatest scam, probably, well, other than Russia, and a few others I could name. The greatest scam in American history, the Green New scam. And it's a quest to end the gasoline-powered car. This is what they wanted to do, even though we have more gasoline than any other country by far. And people want the gasoline car. They want everything. They want electric. They want to have lots of alternatives, but they do want the gasoline car. Right now, it's leading away by a lot. The car business is a very interesting business, but we want to keep it that way. I want to thank Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, Deputy Transportation Secretary Stephen Bradbury, as well as CEO of Ford, Jim Farley.
So somebody stole my words right here in the comment. It says, Joshua White, the best thing to come out of this is the ability for Toyota and others to sell tiny trucks and tiny cars. So I've mentioned this before, and I just had this conversation. I think one of our clips that we're going to talk about has that as well. And what we are talking about is I'm a big fan of some of the mini trucks. When I grew up, I had one of my favorite cars. Wasn't expensive, wasn't anything. I think back when I was probably 16, these things went for like $11,000. It was a Mitsubishi Mighty Max, and I loved that thing. I souped it up. I did so much. Man. Well, Toyota has vehicles that they sell in Japan and other places that get extremely good gas mileage. They're a mini truck. And the last thing, if the podcast I was watching like a year ago was true, I think you can get these things for like $9,995. We haven't been able to buy those in the United States. And I was having this conversation with my son. It might have been Thanksgiving. And we were talking about that, and I said, Trump's going to do something where we'll be able to buy, and he goes, like that box truck? And I said, exactly. Let me see if I can find a picture of it. But these things come in containers ready to go for other countries, not for here. Toyota. Let me see if it pulls up. Maybe I have to put Japan in there. Here's one of them. Basic truck, Toyota. And there's other small vehicles that are very affordable. And this also gives Ford and some of our local places the ability to manufacture these as well. Let me see if I can find another one. Toyota sells a $13 truck set. Yeah, this one right here. This says it gets 27 miles per gallon. It doesn't look as good without, like, if you don't have rims on it, but take a look. I would buy that. That is $13,000 right now. Now, I'm just going to say, if you're, it's obviously not a family vehicle. But dude, almost 30 miles a gallon, have a truck with a bed. You could tow stuff, haul stuff, and it's Toyota. I'm excited about this. Like I can't afford one, but it's opening up the industry. And what we need is free market. I know they always used to use the word fair, and what fair means to Democrats is this guy don't work, let's give him the money, and we'll keep taxing you. That's fair wages, right? Well, when you come to Republicans, fair is let's give everybody a shot and get in here. You know what? If this creates competition in the American market, that's better for me and you. Listen to some of this other stuff right here after he again says he's rolling back the Biden fuel economy mandates, the tailpipe emission regulations, and Biden emission waiver for Newsom's California, all terminated. Now, if you talk to a professional, and I've watched lots of this, very similar to California, we have CARB, which is California Air Resources Board. And even back in the day we've had this for a long time. Even back in the day when I had my little Mitsubishi mini truck, I went around some of that stuff. I sent the engine. I used to drag race. We've told you the story when we talk about the sideshows here. We used to drag race. And this little mini truck was it was definitely the fastest truck in Central California when it came to mini trucks, but it would beat V8s, Lightnings. I sent the engine up to a well-known factory in LA, had it ported and polished. I had NOS on it. I had all this stuff. But you know what I learned at a young age that kind of got me a little political is there was an air intake I wanted to put on the vehicle. And I looked at the specs on the air intake versus the other ones. Yeah, it gave the truck a little more horsepower, like 3 more horsepower, 2.5 more horsepower. But it also made it run more efficiently and helped reduce what was coming out of the tailpipe. I put it on, I go get it smogged. They say you can't smog. I said, why not? That don't have a CARB number. What do you mean it don't have a CARB number? It's not California Air Resource Board certified. I said, but it's better for the truck. No, I agree. But it doesn't meet CARB standards. You should see how much stuff we have to go through when we smog our vehicles here. It's almost hard to do anything. Almost hard to do anything to a lot of the upgrades you want to do to your vehicle, especially if you're souping it up, does actually better for the environment. Check this out. What saving does that present to the American people now that he canceled all this crap?
Is observed tailpipe emission standards, one of the most important things that I've never had a group of people come to me more powerfully and really just devastated that they had to do it. It was killing them than the automobile manufacturers, the tailpipe emission standards. And I can tell you, your people at Ford were coming to me all the time and they were saying, like, please, it doesn't do anything and it's killing us. And it's driving the cost through the roof. And we revoked Biden's emissions waiver for California so that California communists could not regulate the automobile industry and ruin the entire nation of automobiles. And they were doing that too. But we have that now under control also with your governor, who's got much more than he can control. Now, under the new rules being issued today by Secretary Duffy, the Department of Transportation will rescind the Biden fuel economy prices. And I hate to say that because they were really not economy. They were really, they were anti-economy. They were horrible what they were doing to the costs and actually making the car much worse.
Yep.
But these policies forced automakers to build cars using expensive technologies that drove up costs, drove up prices, and made the car much worse. The action is expected to save the typical consumer at least $1,000 off the price of a new car, and we think substantially more than that. Under the Trump administration, $70 billion are now being invested in the American auto industry. Ford has announced it will invest $5 billion across its Kentucky and Michigan plants. Is that a correct statement?
That's right.
That's a lot, $5 billion. You could do more.
I love that guy's personality. He's talking to Ford. There's a lot more clips we have, but it's a savings to us. They put all these regulations on manufacturers. Again, I have a manufacturing background. I've seen what they did, whether it was simple things as me shipping some objects off to get plated. And then California puts this, oh, we can't do that in California. Then I'm going to Arizona. Then eventually it just costs so much. Guess what I'm doing? I'm ordering parts from China, from South Korea, having them brought in on a container because the regulations and everything that Democrats put into place are just so much that it's unaffordable. We can't sell the end product. And that's what we're talking about here. Let's talk about this right here. Let's show you the next video. Man, we're already 108. I better hurry.
I'm the chairman of National Automotive. I represent 18,000 dealers in the country, along with 3,000 heavy-duty truck dealers. And what the actions that you've done as the president and your administration is definitely going to save our customers money. And you made your promises that let the consumer buy what they want, sir, and you delivered on that. And the other thing that you delivered was your promise in the big, beautiful bill, the tax deduction on loans that had gone away some years back. Right. And now that makes it affordable for our buyers that can save money through that loan of the tax, anywhere from several hundred to several thousand. So again, sir, on behalf of all the dealers and our customers, we appreciate what you and your administration have done, and of course, our legislative support as well, Mr. President. Tom Castrator, sir, I'm the chairman of National Automotive. I represent 18,000 dealers in the country, along with 3,000 heavy-duty truck dealers. And
that is, again, the industries are rallying behind him because, once again, we want to stifle these companies and their innovation and forced to go towards something. Now, in a business, your customer decides where you go, right? A good example, I was in the area lift industry that built scissor lifts, boom lifts. I was in that. I knew it like the back of my hand. I try to forget about all of it. But we had things. Customers wanted dual fuel. There wasn't a dual fuel option. Well, you go in, you get your engineers to do it, and you get a big bang. It wasn't the government coming in and saying, here, we need all electric powered, because that wouldn't work for every job environment. It just wouldn't. It's just great. How about this? This was funny. I want to play this again. Just listen to Trump when he talks about the investment right here and turns around and it was $5 billion and he says, you can do more.
Now being invested in the American auto industry. Ford has announced it will invest $5 billion across its Kentucky and Michigan plants. Is that a correct statement?
That's right.
That's a lot, $5 billion. You could do more. Creating at least 4,000 new jobs.
You can do more. Adding more jobs, adding factory, adding manufacturers. This is what the Trump promise was, and he is delivering. Again, you don't open up a factory tonight, guys. I know everybody's saying, well, he's got all this investment, but we're not getting jobs. Well, they take time. A plant can take 2 years to go up from start to finish. Can take longer than that. How about that? Listen to Ford CEO Jim Farley right here.
Brand for combustion. We believe that people should be able to make a choice, as you said. Number two, we were number 2 last year in EV sales. We were number 3 in hybrid, and we're the leading brand for combustion. We believe that people should be able to make a choice, as you said, Mr. President. And we will invest more in affordable vehicles. This allows us to invest in affordable vehicles made in the U.S., which we will take the lead on and will allow us to make vehicles more affordable.
Not only that, and I think he'll get into it, but now if you go buy an American-made vehicle, you can write the interest off as a tax deduction. Again, supporting American-made product. And this was just another funny that Trump did. Take a look at this right here. Secretary Sean Duffy's Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy was talking about the former Transportation Secretary, and Trump had to correct him on how he says the name.
What was contrary to the law, the Congress set a rule that says you have to look at combustion engines. Biden and Buttigieg did an analysis using
Edge.
I'm sorry. Buttigieg used EVs and hybrids to come up with a 62 mile an hour per gallon standard, which I think the car companies will tell you is completely unattainable. So they spent a lot of money on technology trying to meet the unattainable standard.
So think about that. Putting out standards out there that just can't be met. But I love the way Trump boot and edge. And everybody's laughing. This guy's having the time of his life. I just love it.
What was contrary to
I'm surprised he blinked right there. So President Trump should not blink, because he's like this. When he blinks, they're going to say he was sleeping again. They're going to say he's the fake news. Now, what we were talking about earlier about Japan and those small trucks that were mentioned in the chat. Check this out.
We're doing it separate from this meeting, but I think everybody here would agree with it. If you go to Japan, where I just left, and if you go to South Korea and Malaysia and other countries, they have a very small car, sort of like the Beetle used to be with the Volkswagen. They're very small. They're really cute. And I said, how would that do in this country? And everyone seems to think good, but you're not allowed to build them. And I've authorized the secretary to immediately approve the production of those cars. So you'll be able to buy they really are, they're actually, some of them are really beautiful, actually. If you take a look, Honda, some of the Japanese companies do a beautiful job. But we're not allowed to make them in this country. And I think you're going to do very well with those cars. So we're going to approve those cars. Would you like to say something about that?
Well, no, I just
So the stupid regulations we have, just open up the free market, And let me see if I can. I mean, America loves our cars. We love big cars. At least I do. This might be one that he's talking about. No, that's that is this is some of the stuff they do, but this is Honda's inbox.
Bien, hacia atrás y sobre todo.
Now, I won't be driving one, but I want people to have the options to drive one. I drive that Toyota truck. There's people that'll think that's really good looking.
Luego la posibilidad de abatir también hacia atrás y sobre todo.
Affordability, I would probably want one of those. Like one thing I hate is big cities. When we travel to big cities, there's just never a place to park for a normal size car, it seems. And then he also finished up. He took a lot of questions today, but we keep saying we keep hearing the Democrats talk about affordability. We talk about it on this show. Nothing was affordable under Joe Biden. The prices that Democrats are screaming at, where'd they come from? They came under Joe Biden. He's the one that created the affordability crisis. And so, as Trump normally does, he calls it the affordability hoax. They're making you believe that somehow it's not affordable because of my policies. Listen to this.
All about affordability, all about, they never talk about like the specifics. Right. Everything was through the roof. Eggs, when I took over, eggs were 4 times higher than they ever were. We got the prices down to the lowest level. Yep. I mean, amazing. But they never, you got to watch, they're great con people. It's like the Inflation Reduction Act. And after they got it approved, because everybody said inflation reduction, they admitted it had nothing to do with reducing inflation. It's a con job. I think affordability is the greatest con job. They look at you and they say, affordability. They don't say anything else. Everyone says, oh, their prices were so low. No, they had the worst inflation. We had the highest prices we ever had. And now they're all coming down, including beef is coming down. Beef was up there a little bit. Our ranchers did well, but we got to make them do a little bit less well, perhaps. But the beef is now coming down. Coffee is now coming down. It's all coming down. And it's a beautiful thing to see. But remember this, when they use the word affordability, they just say, they never say anything else. This election's about affordability. And then they go into the next subject. It's a con job. They caused the highest prices in the history of our country, the worst inflation in the history of our country, and we're getting those prices down, and they're coming down rapidly, and you'll see those results very soon.
Yep. I do look at the wholesale market on things as part of how I get some of my information. And back in the day, Trump looks at the wholesale market as well. I could tell I don't talk to him or I don't know that, but I remember when he said eggs were a certain price. And I was like, man, not here, not there. And then I look, he was reflecting the wholesale market because that trickles down to the consumer prices. And so if you look at some of the wholesale market, beef is coming down. You do have other things coming down. He moved the tariffs around on the coffee, so that would be lowered because people, oh, coffee. Like it was like you're paying 3-4 cents more a cup. That's what you were paying. All so that we can do our tariffs and negotiate. And people were screaming and crying. And he was also asked about Jack Smith. We talked about it today. What is it? December 17th. It has been requested that Jack Smith go and talk to the Judiciary Committee, I believe. I might be wrong on that. I don't have it up in front of me right now. But listen to what Trump says.
He's a bad guy. He's a sick man. There's something wrong with him, actually. I think he's a bad guy. He's a sick man. There's something wrong with him, actually. I think Jack Smith is a sick man. There's something really wrong with him. I'd rather see him testify publicly because there's no way he can answer the questions. But Biden knew this was going along. Kamala knew it was going along. And there's a lot of things happening right now that they don't like. One of the things is the auto pen. Everything he signed, almost, with the exception, he's a bad guy.
And I have to agree. He is a bad guy. He is a bad guy, and I hope some things happen. We'll get into the next stuff. Let me do this really quick. Where is this? Oh, by the way, you guys, I mentioned last week. Let me pull it up because I just like following it. I'm not giving you any advice. I've told you that before, but I do follow some stocks that go up and down and stocks that I'm interested in, like the platform, our main platform here, Rumble. And I said, wow, man, this stock really dropped. It was at $5.96. I commented to Bill in the chat. And then I was just, I'm going to look right now. I know it's been fluctuating, but RUM for Rumble, it's been less than 2 weeks since I mentioned that, is now at $7. Let me pull this in front of here, see if it'll let me. It will. So you look at that Rumble right now, it is $7.58. So you made $1.60 per share just in 2 weeks. And I knew something was strange about that going down. I follow Rumble a lot. And so, man, that went up pretty well. And also, let me pull this up really quick. Pull this up. Let's see. Let's be clear. Crypto is no longer emerging. It's here. And this latest movement cements that reality in the biggest way yet. It says Trump Media Group just inked a massive $6.4 billion deal with Crypto.com, the world's top crypto platform. They're teaming up to scoop up $6.4 billion in CRO. The powerhouse is taking that fuels fast. Low fee, DeFi, stake and rewards, and real world perks like cash back on your spins to launch America's first CRO treasury. When it's done, this new company will be the biggest CRO holder out there. Want in on the action? Head over to Crypto.com today and grab some CRO. Let's make crypto great again. So that was interesting stuff. I followed that a lot too. So go check it out. At least go check it out over there. And then don't forget, guys, Christmas is coming. We have Made in America and with our good friend Mike.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our biggest Made in America sale ever. We just put huge discounts on products made right here in the USA. My Pillow bed pillows, body pillows, go anywhere pillows, bolster pillows, all made with my patented adjustable fill. Mattresses, mattress toppers, mattress pads, adjustable bed frames, mattress foundations, and so much more. All made right here in the USA. And now we're expanding our USA products beyond just quality sleep. Like the cross I wear every day, now available in both men's and women's. We even have USA-made socks. And are you tired of being tired? Try our new health beverage, Rev 7. Or how about my coffee? The greatest coffee ever. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get deep discounts on all these products. Plus, for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free.
That's right. Absolutely free, folks. Jump in, get it going. Absolutely free. All right, let's move on. How about this? We talked about CARE earlier, too. CARE National put out a tweet. CARE is the organization that Texas Governor Greg Abbott has classified as a terrorist group, partners with the Muslim Brotherhood and all these other terrorist organizations. We've been calling CARE that since 2015, 10 years now, 6 years now almost. And they shared a picture of a video of Trump, and I'm going to show you that video.
One way or the other.
And I want to show you what their comments
We're going
were.
to go the wrong way if we keep taking in guns. I'm understanding, and you're going to look at that, Scott. I hear they ripped off Somalians, ripped off that state for billions of dollars, billions every year, billions of dollars, and they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you. Okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I could say that about other countries too. I can say it about other countries too. We don't want them the hell. We have to rebuild our country. You know, our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it. We could go one way or the other, and we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country.
That's right.
Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing.
So CARE's comment on this, which again, Greg Abbott has reached out to the Treasury to remove their 501c3 status. There's literally terrorist organizations that get 501c3 status. And CARE put this out. This was CARE National. We strongly condemn the dangerous and openly racist rhetoric targeting Rep. Ilhan Omar and the broader Somali American community. The hateful claims made about Somali Americans and Somali immigrants sound exactly like the remarks once made about the Irish, Italians, and other communities who endured bigotry while establishing a place in our nation. The fact is that Somali Americans have, just one generation after arriving here as refugees with limited resources, built a thriving community of business owners, factory workers, medical professionals, religious leaders, elected officials, and others who contribute to our nations. Effort to smear all Somali Americans with raw racism is the latest example of political leaders trying to use a boogeyman to distract the American public from real issues. This dangerous bigotry must end now. Everybody I've talked to, they're not talking about the people. He's not talking about the people that came here legally and assimilate. He's talking about people that were out in the streets just 2 weeks ago, taking away the First Amendment rights, assaulting a man for protesting. Whether I agree with that man or not, doesn't have anything to do with it. Police did nothing. The community in Dearborn and other places have become absolute shitholes. You don't want to come here and assimilate to Western culture and Western civilization, you shouldn't be here. I don't care if you're from Ireland. I don't care if you're from Europe. I don't care if you're from Mexico. Don't try to change this country into the country you fled. Because there's nowhere for us people that live here and our families have been here for generations that built this country. There's nowhere for us to flee. And we're going to stand here and we're going to fight. I promise you that. I promise you that. There would be no other greater way to die than for dying for your country. And if that's what it comes to, that's what it comes to. He even spoke on this again today when he was with the businessman. Take a listen to this right here.
They have a representative, Ilhan Omar, who they say married her brother. It's a fraud. She tries to deny it now, but you can't really deny it because, you know, it just happened. She shouldn't be allowed to be a congresswoman, and I'm sure people are looking at that. And she should be thrown the hell out of our country. And most of those people, they have destroyed Minnesota, okay? Minnesota, you have an incompetent governor. You have a crooked governor. He's crooked as hell, but he's incompetent. Waltz he should be ashamed. That beautiful land, that beautiful state. And all they do is complain, complain, complain. You have her. She's always talking about the Constitution provides me with, go back to your own country and figure out your Constitution.
I just want to have dinner with the guy. Like sometimes I'm listening to him like, did he say that or did I say that? Oh, man.
All she does is complain about this country, and without this country, she would not be in very good shape. She probably wouldn't be alive right now. So Somalia is considered by many to be the worst country on earth. I don't know. I haven't been there. I won't be there anytime soon. I hope. But what Somalia, what the Somalian people have done to Minnesota is not even believable. It's not even believable. And a lot of it starts with the governor.
A lot of it starts with the governor.
Dollars.
That was gangster. RW finally admits he wants to have Trump's baby. Man. How about this? This was on CNN. A legal citizen in New Orleans is literally crying and hyperventilating because he went for a jog without his immigration papers and saw cops in the distance. It says he thought he was going to get deported on the spot because, oh, he's brown. Listen to this.
He said he was worried. He called his wife. He was driving home. But we haven't seen those videos so far. But take a listen to the gentleman that we talked to today who was at the park. He was running and he saw some officers in the distance. He became terrified. Even though he has his immigration papers, he didn't have them on him while he was running. Take a listen, Boris.
And I feel uncertain because, when you go to make exercise, you don't carry your driver's license. You don't carry nothing can prove you a citizen. But because what I can hear in social media and everything, these people is looking at your color.
Boris, he was hyperventilating at one point during our interview. He started shedding tears. He said he was worried. He called his wife. He was driving home. He was upset because he didn't have his immigration paperwork on him at the time. He says he's a legal U.S. citizen, but he was so terrified that he'd be picked up and not make it home. He says he's trying to figure out whether or not he can still work without his business and whether or not this will impact that. There has been a lot of restaurants that have also felt the impact of this. I'm actually holding this whistle here that's been handed out at some restaurants. The goal of this is to make sure they put it in as many hands as possible. And when the ICE agent
I hope those restaurants get shut down.
Show up, people will start blowing the whistle. There have been organizations that are helping to educate people to make sure they know exactly what they should do to help folks, but not also violate the law, because federal agents have made it clear if you block federal agents during the arrest, you could face prosecution yourself. Boris, it's going to be a very interesting week as this starts to kick off.
Yeah, no doubt. Ryan Young, thank you so much for staying on top of that for us in New Orleans.
Now, I'm not laughing at the guy. I'm just laughing that people believe fake news. If you're a legal citizen and you've done everything right, you have nothing to worry about. They might ask you questions. They might even detain you a little bit. But they have ways to check and they'll release you and you're free to go home on your way and you should thank them. It's just absolutely insane. How about this one? A Somalian Maine city councilor elect and school board member was just indicted on charges for allegedly stealing guns. Here he is at the annual Somali celebration this week. And there's a list out here, but I just want to show you. Check this out. There he is there, but there's more interesting stuff. When we tell you all the crime statistics are skewed against normalcy, there he is right there. That was earlier this week. And state of Maine versus Iman Osman. And did commit theft by obtaining or exercising unauthorized control over a firearm or explosive device. So you'd think he'd be off the school board right away, right? But check this out. Libs of TikTok posted this. You cannot make this up. The Somalian city councilor-elect and school board member in Maine who is just indicted for allegedly stealing guns is listed as white. Eyes are brown and he is white. If he's white, I'm invisible, folks. They need to fix this. They need to do an investigation. We show you this all the time. And they don't commit any crimes. Well, because they're all labeled white. How do you expect them to do anything? And don't forget, guys, we are at the beginning of the month. We are 100% viewer funded. And we want to thank you for all your generous donations and everything you do. If you guys want to help us, the beginning of the month bills are here. We got 3 more, 1 big bill and 2 more medium-sized bills that we got to pay to get them all completed. Thank you for the people that donated yesterday on Giving Tuesday. If you want to help us out, any donation, it doesn't matter the size. We appreciate it. You can go to Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $ Oreo Army. And we also have GiveSendGo down there at the bottom, which is givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. And we have Zelle. If you do mobile or online banking, you can do a Zelle transfer to us. Our Zelle address is Pure Patriot, Pure Patriot, the number 5, the number 5, the number 9, Pure Patriot 559 at yahoo.com. We appreciate you. We want to get all caught up and worry about next week if we have to. So I just wanted to give you a reminder. We are at the beginning of the month. So thank you to everybody who has donated. Again, we got like 3.5 bills that we got to get paid. And hopefully we can do it before the late fees. How about this? Homeland Security says Afghan terrorist arrested today just miles from D.C. And he came in under Biden, folks. Take a look at this. This is from DHS. Today, the heroes of ICE.gov arrested John Shah Safi, an unvetted Afghan national who provided support to the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. He also provided weapons to his father, who is a commander of a militia group in Afghanistan. The Biden administration created one of the worst national security crises in American history. Biden let into our country nearly 190,000 unvetted Afghan aliens, only determining who they were and their intentions when they were already on American soil. President Trump has been working every day since January 20th to clean up this unmitigated national security crisis. Man, I'm glad they got that guy, but that's the people that we allowed into the country. That is the people we allowed into the country. Unvetted, unchecked. How about this one? Maybe we'll do a give, send, go for this woman.
I've been here for 38 years, and I cannot articulate. I've been here for 38 years, and I cannot articulate how disappointed I am in we the people.
You know who that is, right? Who is it, guys? Who is it? She's been here for 38 years. Listen.
That we allow this to fall so easily. Having 38 years ago, because I bought into it, yes, I wanted to come here. 38 years later, after being here and realizing how it's more fast, it's more smokes and mirrors, I am ready to leave. I can't financially leave right now, but the first opportunity financially that I can get, I am leaving. And I'm leaving on principle because I feel that if I, as an immigrant, remain in a fascist country, I've been here for 38 years, and
So, you guys, nobody said who that was. I don't know what's wrong with the chat today. You guys are lagging. Come on, I'm waiting. You guys, this is homework. You guys are always talking about other stuff while we're live, instead of focusing on the real issue at hand. That is Nasty Nadine. That is Nadine from DC, the one that always holds the sign up, the one the one that cleans houses for a living. That is Nadine. Nasty Nadine. She don't like it when I pull up her criminal record when we're in DC. She was in New York. She goes to all the anti-Trump stuff. We've seen her all over. But she said she wants to go back home, but can't financially do it. I will be willing to forego a month of everything we make to ship her back. And I want to put that out on the internet. I'm dead serious. I would sleep in my car for 3 months to get her back home. We don't need, it's like Trump said, we don't need the trash here. And that is trash. You come to a country and you piss on it and you disrespect it and it gave you every opportunity in the world. Well, Bill, if you watch the live stream, she's been on our live stream hundreds of times while we've been places. She always tries to get behind the cameras and national media with her sign, Trump is a pedophile or whatever. Nasty Nadine out of D.C. I'm ready to send her home. You want to go home? Let's go home. We'll get you there. We will get you there. We'll see how much you like it. Here's the other part of that, and we're just going to talk about it again. Restaurants handing out whistles in New Orleans.
Wolf, I wanted to show you this. This is the whistle that we just picked up from a restaurant. These whistles are being handed out to people in the community so that if they see agents, they can blow this whistle. They believe this will be effective to clear corners if people are walking. We'll also show you these pictures that we took inside that same restaurant where you can see the signs advertising some of the same things that we just showed you. The idea is the more people that know and can help, the more people will be kept safe off the streets, according to them. So we'll have to see how this operation goes. They also are concerned about people with the mask on their face in a city that has concealed weapons. You do not have a license for it. So there's a lot of people in the city who are carrying weapons. That's something.
New Orleans has a lot more to worry about than federal officers wearing masks. We all know it. It's crazy. How about this? The things that mainstream media don't usually talk about, but again, we need to talk about. Take a listen.
The investigation started when the young child was dropped off at Eskenazi Hospital in a near lifeless condition. IMPD hopes the death serves as an important life-saving message for parents everywhere.
A child's tricycle sits unused in the backyard of this home near Michigan and Tibbs. This is where police say the parents of Angel Guadalupe Rosales Alvarado failed to care for their child. The young boy died Monday morning, less than a week after he turned 1 year old.
This is our victim. It had no voice, and we have to speak up for him. Our detectives are speaking up for that child now.
Police arrested the boy's mother, 35-year-old Wendy Alvarado, and his father, 31-year-old Dunio Duarte Rosales, for neglect of a dependent resulting in death. By the time the boy showed up with his mother at Eskenazi Hospital, police say the victim was severely malnourished, underweight, and already near death.
In addition to the possible criminal charges, both suspects are being held on a federal detainer at the Marion County Jail, which indicates a concern over their immigration status.
Concern over their immigration status. They're accused of the death of their 1-year-old child. They're in the country illegally. Now let's talk about targets of Operation Catahoula Crunch. Include violent, criminal, illegal aliens. Take a listen to Allie Bradley right here. They shared this News Nation broadcast with Homeland Security shared this. Take a
Chicago,
listen.
they face lawsuits and other issues there. So we're kind of.
Allie, what have you seen so far today?
Yeah. Hey, Nicole. So we're currently sitting on a target right now with Border Patrol. We're embedded with them as they conduct their operations. It's important for us to be embedded with them to see how they conduct things here in New Orleans, because, of course, they've received backlash in other cities where they've conducted these operations. L.A., Chicago, they face lawsuits and other issues there. So we're kind of seeing how these operations are conducted and unfolding here in New Orleans as well. Now, right now, the target that they're currently looking at is a Cuban national. He's an aggravated felon, and he's also a sex offender. Remember, these crimes were committed here in the United States. And so right now, what DHS is saying is they're going after the worst of the worst. They're going after these criminal targets. You're looking at some of them on the screen who they say were released back to the streets because of sanctuary policies that, quote, force local authorities to ignore ICE arrest detainers in New Orleans. Now, the individuals that you're looking at were singled out by the administration, arrested for crimes crimes including home invasion, armed robbery, grand theft auto, and rape. Now, when it comes to this city, it's wildly different than the former operations that we've seen. Of course, as Catahoula Crunch, that operation unfolds, they have different support here in New Orleans. The governor actually requested federal support and federal reinforcement as this operation is now underway. So we will likely see the National Guard deployed to this area in the coming weeks as well, based on comments that President Trump has made. So when it comes to this operation, again, this is a targeted enforcement operation that we're sitting on right now as we are embedded with Border Patrol, because they are going after this specific target. They establish patterns of life. They find out where they're living. They have warrants to go after them for arrest. So that is what they are doing right now and what we are observing. So right now they're waiting until they have those eyes on the target, and then they will deploy and go after that specific individual. Now, they are looking at two different individuals with similar crimes. Both add felons, both are sex offenders, and both are Cuban nationals, and they're both in this area. So they're waiting to get eyes on those targets.
So again, targeted arrest, but they said something interesting. And one of the things I've been holding off on saying is I want to, and thank you to the anonymous donation on Gifts and Go. Appreciate you. Thank you so much to everybody who's donated. I want to try to get these bills behind us, because I would like to, if what they're saying is true and the National Guard is going to be sent to New Orleans, I don't know when that'll be, but this operation is going to go. I want to possibly go out there next week if it's possible. I'm trying to, it seems like, I don't have it. I got to work on some stuff, but I would love to go out to New Orleans for 5-6 days. I don't know what kind of content we'll get. We never know, so I can't promise anything. And some of the days I would like to be a little discreet and not live stream so we can get some great video. But hopefully we can get this taken care of, the past due stuff, and then raise money to get a plane ticket. And I looked at, again, plane tickets aren't cheap this time of year, but get down there for 4, 5, 6 days. And obviously I can't be there through Christmas. I want to be home for Christmas with the family, but this would be something really, really cool if the National Guard, because it's in cooperation with the state, and that's huge. Check this out. This was also from Allie Bradley. It says, what started as what Border Patrol calls a consensual encounter turned unstable very quickly in the New Orleans area. Look at this construction site and look at what happened, guys, when Border Patrol showed up.
Chavo, no puede hacer eso. Es un asalto y te voy a disparar. Chavo, hey, suelta eso, bájalo. Habla con tu compadre acá. Bájalo, hey. No, es un asalto. Es un asalto, bájalo, te puedo disparar. Bájalo. Eso es un asalto. Bájalo. Baja eso. No. Te voy a disparar. Es un asalto.
This is crazy.
Chavo. Bájate. Está listo. No va a haber agarrador. Vete. Por aquí. Mira. We got one coming down. Chavo. ¡Hey! ¡Suelta eso! ¡Hey! ¿Estás subiendo? ¡Suelta eso!
This is New Orleans.
Hey! hold on for the rest of the guys to go up. Ramos, hold on. Ramos, hold on.
If you look right there, that ladder right there on the screen where my mouse is, they lifted that ladder up so Border Patrol couldn't get up that way.
Make sure you stay in the street. You might get to the other side.
That's when you know you're doing something wrong. You're in the country illegally, and you know what's about to happen.
Hey!
Ripping off the work they did.
Yeah, two guys in there right now. Got three.
I guess Americans won't do construction jobs because they're only here to do jobs Americans won't. What they're here to do is undercut the pay for our jobs. So that was in New Orleans today. We'll be bringing you some more stuff from New Orleans. We might get there. Shelly Rose, thank you so much. It says, Josh, thank you. Really appreciate you. God bless you, your family, all patriots here, President Trump. Thank you, Shelly Rose. Appreciate you. And thank you for the $10 Rumble rant and helping us out. We do appreciate it. How about this one? Pramila, while all this is going on, while we have people coming into the country that Biden let in that are killing our National Guardmen, listen to what Pramila Jayapal is now trying to push a bill that would force American taxpayers to pay for legal counsel. Now, this happens in a lot of states. A lot of your tax dollars go to NGOs that provide, it used to. It doesn't anymore. That's been cut off. Why are we catering to people that broke into our country? Listen to this. This is sickening. Let me refresh this one. It's been up for a couple hours.
Enough. Our Detained Immigrants Act has a remarkable, unprecedented 123 original co-sponsors. Before we've even introduced it, 123 co-sponsors, and it overhauls the detention system. It drastically scales back the use of detention. It ensures that every single immigrant who is in detention has their human and civil rights protected. Our bill also phases out the use of private for-profit detention centers. It prohibits the detention of children and families and makes it harder to detain primary caregivers and vulnerable people like pregnant women or seniors or workers who are whistleblowing on unscrupulous employers.
So pretty much we're going to make sure none of these people can be arrested. I don't care if you're 79, if you're 55, if you're caring for your parent, if you are a criminal illegal alien, we are going to detain you and we are going to deport. That was what America voted for.
It requires DHS to allow members of Congress to do our jobs and conduct those unannounced inspections that hold these facilities accountable. As an immigrant myself today, to say enough. Our Detained Immigrants Act has a remarkable, unprecedented 123 original co-sponsors.
So Jan Garner says, what about the J6ers? You didn't care then. Remember the conditions J6ers were in? Weren't being able to see their family and they were using COVID as that excuse? for 9, 10, 11 months, solitary confinement, being treated like crap. Nobody cared. Those were American citizens, many of them veterans that took a tour around the Capitol. But because they supported America First policy and Donald Trump, they were going to make them burn. But when it comes to illegal aliens, folks, let's not detain them. We even had J6ers with cancer that wasn't getting the treatment they needed. It's sickening. It's sickening. I know it's been an hour and 54 minutes. This is a long show. But before we go off the air, I want to see if anything has been breaking or anything else, because the way things are going, been busy. And of course, that same person that was just speaking about not being able to detain or arrest any illegal aliens, I don't even have to look farther than the name. It says, I am thrilled to endorse Abdul El Sayed for Senate in Michigan. Imagine that. Imagine that. The Inspector General review is a total exoneration of Secretary Pete Hegseth and proves what we knew all along. No classified information is shared. Remember how they were going all crazy about the signal chat and all that? It says this matter is resolved and the case is closed. And listen to Pete Hegseth. He retweeted and said, no classified information, total exoneration, case closed. Houthis bombed into submission. Thank you for your attention to this IG report. They want to get him so bad. I'm just seeing if they're, I don't know if you guys can hear the Christmas tree lights are on outside. That's what that music is. I don't think it's going through to you guys. Oh, this one. We talked about the work requirements for food stamps, and listen to Triple Chin right here. Listen to Triple Chin talk about it. Hold on. Oh, man.
I don't think it's fair that he do that, but
And you were saying you think it's going to hurt a lot of people?
oh yeah, definitely. Definitely it's gonna hurt a lot of people because you never know, you know what? Especially now that we're in the holidays and everybody wants to have a good dinner and everything. And if you don't give it to them, it's gonna be really hard.
It's very sudden and it will affect people negatively.
I don't.
So Triple Chin says it's not fair that there's a 20-hour per week work requirement. ICE Washington arrested Nicole Benavente Torres. She's been convicted of aggravated assault of a U.S. Marshal. That's a good one. Check out what ICE posted. I can go with that. ICE Washington. She's going home. Try to get crazy with an ICE officer. Now she gets to go home. Rep Jayapal doesn't want her arrested. I'm sure there's a reason why. That looks like it. I'm not seeing anything big. Once again, guys, we are at the beginning of the month. If you guys want to help us up, our donation links are coming up here. We appreciate you. We thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, all that good stuff. I am going to try something before we go out, though. I'm going to play the end, and then I'm going to come back and see. I'm supposed to raid a channel 5 times per month as part of the Rumble Premium thing that I'm involved in. I'm going to play this. It'll give you all the donation links, and then it's going to come back to me afterwards, and I'm just going to see how this works. It's nothing big, but I'm just going to say thank you.
Well, hop above the Oreo Express, where truth don't hide and we don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking it true. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll.
Okay, I'm just going to try something. You guys all have a good evening. I have church tonight, so if anything goes breaking, it will be after like 9 o'clock tonight. So thank you all, and I'm just going to try this out and see what happens. Give me a second. I'm rating a junk channel. Again, I don't like this that Rumble has done this. There's a whole lot of channels I don't want to raid, so I just found a pickleball channel. Let me see how I do this. It hasn't started anything, has it? Let's try this. Did nothing. Try it this way. You'll get all the information. It does it. It'll ask you if you want to go. It's not on me. Again, it's not something I like or even want to do. It's just part of what I have to do. So I'm just trying to figure why this isn't working. Literally a pickleball in India. And it's not working. But it'll give you guys all the information it should and tell you what's happening. I'm not a fan of raids like this, at least on this platform. If Will or somebody else was on, I would raid Will's chat. Yes, India. It's not working at all. Hold on, let me see something. Raid. Rumble. Sent me an email. I read it and it said put. How to use the Rumble raid feature. It's supposed to offer you to confirm the raid. I didn't get anything. Not letting me do anything. I wish it showed a little. Let's try it one more time. Then I'll look into it a little more. Raid. and paste the URL to start a raid. Copy the URL of the live stream you want to send your viewers to. As the channel owner or moderator, enter the chat command /raid into the chat box and paste the URL into the chat and hit enter. What I did. Nonstop action of pickleball. Try it again. I guess it's not going to work. I got to do that 5 times a month. And if it's not working. Yeah, I know. I see the chat box. I know what's not going through. I don't know why. Raid. Let's try a different one. Maybe they won't let me do that one. Copy. Raid. Okay, so let's see if. Take away the age. Oh, well. Well, once again, guys, you have a good night. I'll figure this out when I get home from church. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you later. Cancel.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our biggest Made in America sale ever. We just put huge discounts on products made right here in the USA. My Pillow bed pillows, body pillows, go anywhere pillows, bolster pillows, all made with my patented adjustable fill. Mattresses, mattress toppers, mattress pads, adjustable bed frames, mattress foundations, and so much more. All made right here in the USA. And now we're expanding our USA products beyond just quality sleep. Like the cross I wear every day, now available in both men's and women's. We even have USA made socks. And are you tired of being tired? Try our new health beverage, Rev 7. Or how about my coffee, the greatest coffee ever? So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get deep discounts on all these products. Plus, for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free.
Now it won't let me end the stream. Ending close room. We'll have to see.